Namaste, I'm Dr. Alpa, and today I'll be discussing about a topic which has always fascinated me, and that is the link between the female menstrual cycle and the lunar cycle or the moon cycle. I'm sure it might interest many of you as well. Some of you might have heard about this before, and some of you might think that it is just a superstition or a myth. But today I'll be trying to go deep into the topic and try to discuss the scientific reasons of why it is believed so. And to understand it, today let us keep aside all the medications and the yoga or the diet which we follow for our health and try to understand or focus only on the basic nature of the women. So when we talk about the women are said to have more of a what you say Chandra Tattva or the moon element, and when we talk about the men, they have more of a Surya Tattva or the sun element, and maybe that is why men are more aggressive and women are more calmer. And if by chance you find the either way around, then there definitely is an imbalance in the energies or the element, and that is what actually has to be balanced. Now let us talk about the moon. When we talk about the moon, approximately it takes around the 28 days to revolve around the earth. Similarly, is the menstrual cycle. We take an average to understand the menstrual cycle. We take an average of 28 days cycle. And when we try to understand the energy of the moon, we take an example. Let us take an example of the fields. The fields which we sow towards, or the vegetation is done towards the full moon, means from the new moon days towards the growing moon, towards the full moon, that vegetation is far better and good than the vegetation which is grown from the full moon towards the Amavasya or the new moon days. And this is confirmed by many of the farmers. You can also recheck it once. Also, if the we all know that the sunlight provides the color to the fruits, and the juice of the fruits is because of the moonlight. So this is how we know how essential is the moonlight for the vegetation. And about the tides, every one of us knows that tides on earth, the only reason or the biggest reason is the moon. So if the moon can cause the big tides on earth, can affect the vegetation and life on earth, definitely it might be having some effect on humans also. So today we'll be discussing about the women. So what is happening is, when we talk about the moon, where does the light come from? The light from the moon comes from the sunlight. So moon is doing nothing but the reflecting the sunlight. Though we know the sunlight is warm or hot in nature, but the light which moon is reflecting is cold. So during the full moon, when we are talking about it, full moon light is reflecting. It is on peak of its coldness or the shitalta which we are talking about, and this cold rays act as a stimulus to the female hormones. So what is happening is, female hormones, female is in sync with the or is in sync with the moon. So as the moon starts decreasing in its size, its potency starts decreasing in size. So what is happening in the woman is, the basic coldness or the coolness in the women starts to decrease, though at a very micro level that you and me cannot even see or predict it. But yes, it is definitely happening. And and when it is decreasing means the pit tattva or the hot nature is increasing in the body, and this increase in the pit is leading to the change in the hormones in the body. Means estrogen is increasing, which will release the egg, and if she doesn't get pregnant in those days, means she will get menstruation. So basically, from the full we are moving to from the full moon towards the new moon days, and she is getting periods around the new moon days. And as the moon size is decreasing towards the new moon, she gets her periods. As the moon size is again increasing from new moon to the full moon days, her body is getting rejuvenated. In Ayurveda text also, it is written everywhere that for the menstrual cycle to be balanced, the pith of the women has to be balance. So it plays a very important role for the periods. So some of you might think, if this is so, then every one of us should get periods around the same dates. Yes, ideally it should be like that. Ideally, every woman should get periods around Amavasya or no moon or the new moon days, or 1 2 days priorly or after, according to everybody's own body, how we take stimulus. And towards the full moon, our body should get rejuvenated or made again to menstruate again towards the. Ideally, it should be like that. But because of our lifestyle changes, it is not happening like this. Let us take an example. If we get up on time every day, means around 5 or 6 a.m., we have our exercise or the morning walks at time, we'll have a breakfast on time, we'll go and work on time, we'll have a lunch on time, evening activities on time, dinner on time, and we'll sleep on time. But if by chance one day we sleep late at night, maybe due to any reason, a work, a party, or maybe we are busy with our gadgets, anything. So what will happen is we'll get up late at night, late in the morning. Maybe we'll skip our breakfast, or maybe we will be late in our breakfast, and everything will be delayed. And again, our sleep will be delayed, and it might continue. And if this continues many of the times, it might become our habit, and it will definitely affect our eating pattern, our sleep pattern, our stress levels, and our health will definitely will be affected. Similarly, if our menstrual cycle is not in sync with the moon cycle, initially we won't be able to notice, and initially we won't be facing any problem. But slowly, as we continue on the same path or the pattern, we will definitely face the problem. We will definitely face the problems, and like problems like PCOD, or maybe menstrual irregularities, or maybe the heavy periods, or maybe decrease in the bleeding, or maybe PCOD, or maybe the best problems, anything. So what has to be done? Only the one thing we can do is just connect with the nature and try to understand our body and the nature. That is it. And when we get into the nature, when we sync with the nature, you will automatically sync with the moon cycle, and your periods will regularize yourself. So what we have to do is start observing your own body and start observing the nature. Try to take more of a moonlight in maybe the uh, direct form, or maybe the food form, or maybe the water primed with the moonlight. Start taking it, and maybe now you can understand why Karwa Chauth was made for women. Full moon nights, full moon days were made for women. And why, if women anytime could not conceive in the earlier days, especially they were told to have a bath in the sarovars or the water bodies, maybe because they were primed with the moonlight as well as sunlight. Why the full moon meditations are of so importance? So what is happening is, we were trying earlier also. Just you can just Google it and you will find it. Before 40s, hardly any woman had any uh, hormonal problems, because they were connected to nature. So connecting to nature is trying to understand our body, trying to understand that how our cycle and the lunar cycle is linked. We can definitely work on our own hormones. So for today, that is enough, and maybe next time we'll be discussing more of this topic, or maybe something new of it, and how we can work on it. We'll be discussing on that. Thank you for today. Have a nice day. Bye bye.